LFA 49, Wilfredo Santiago Jr. going to be taking on Stephen Regman. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Been doing pretty good. Rough day today, but I'm feeling good.
Rough day today. What's the camp been like? What's the preparation for this one?
I've been ever since the Contender. Ever since the Contender, I was told to stay ready. Want me back in my weight class, which is 170. I took that fight on at 185. Since then, I've been training, staying low, so I was kind of already training mode. And then when it happened, when we got the call for it, I was just like, let's take it. It's gonna be a catch weight. I come to find out the guy didn't want to cut all the way down to 170, which is fine. You know what I mean? So we meet at a catch weight at 175. But it's been great though.
Do you already feel that there's some weakness in him? That it sounds like there was some negotiation, there was some hesitation on his part.
Well, it's a little frustrated because, like I said, I felt we had plenty of time to make the weight. I felt we had, the belt was originally, from my understanding, was set up either for a main event or a co-main event, and then at the beginning they wanted to take it, and then he didn't want to call it down to 170. He wanted to do a catch weight, and we had agreed to it. And then 2 weeks later, I think it was like a week and a half later, they came back to us and said that they didn't want to take the fight. And then 2.5 weeks later, they came back and said they're going to take the fight. So it's been a pain in the butt, but for the most part, though, I mean, we always work hard, we train, and it's here now, man. It's next week, a couple of days. I fly out in a couple of days, and frustrating. I won't lie, frustrating. So we're just gonna go another time to lock in. The hard part is done. We just cooling, man. Now, man, slow motion now. We just can't wait. I'm only a few pounds away from being at 175. I can't wait, man.
A little nice now. Your last fight was 85. You're dropping back down to 70 slowly. Is that a nice factor for your body? How your body's feeling?
Well, no, my body's taking it pretty well. I've never really had a problem with making 170. My only issue is that, and I think that's everyone's issue, is that when they don't do it the way they're supposed to do it, it's a fucking hell. It's hell. You know what I mean? But we got a good nutritionist on board. I call her Dr. Mama. Anita, she's on point. She bugs me every day, make sure that I'm on point, make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, eating and whatnot. And it's been great. When I do it disciplined and I do it right, the cut is easy.
This fight, a little more anxious for it, would you say, because of these stumbles, the fact that it's taken so long to get this one together?
Yeah, of course, man. Oh, it is, man. You know what I mean? Because, it's a good thing when you get that phone call from your manager and he says, hey, man, we got to fight, you know what I mean? And then, he calls you a week and a half later after calling him every day, like, hey, he's like, hey, as long as when I know, you'll know. Like, I had him, like, but finally, when it did come, almost a month after it was initially presented to me, it was a relief because, I don't know how, I can't speak for everybody else, but I know I speak for myself, man. I love fighting, man. It's something that I love doing. I've been doing it all my life, and I just can't wait to get back in there. I'm gonna get this loss that I just had coming off the Contender, erase it, you know what I mean, and get back on the winning in the winning circle. So we good, man. We got a break, couple months coming up.
How do you look back at the Contender series? How do you look back at the process and the fight?
The process was phenomenal. The camp was fucking hard as shit. I'm a little mad at myself because I kind of felt like, all respects to Kevin, he came in, he did his thing, but I think that fight, I didn't fight the way I normally fight. I think I wasn't as aggressive as I normally am, and that has nothing to do and nothing to take away from Kevin. But we live and we learn, and I'm just, I feel like this fight coming up next week is gonna take me to that stage of where you're gonna see the real me.
What was going through your mind when you dropped him? It looked like you hit him. It looked like a glancing blow, but Kevin's falling backwards. What was going through your head?
At first, it looked so, like, honestly, like it didn't look like he was falling. You know what I mean? And then, like, the way he fell, it was weird. It was just like a weird thing. And right then and there, I should, my killer instinct should have kicked in. But I don't know, man. I don't know if it was fighting on the Contender stage, having all the the UFC brass there. I don't know what it was, man. I can't really put my I can't
Put your finger in your
yeah, put my finger to it. But I learned, and that'll never happen again. I can promise you that. And we just, like I said, man, we live and we learn. And I was able, even though I didn't come out with the win, but I kind of feel like that we impressed the UFC brass, which that was told to get back down to 170 and see where we go from there. So that's what we're doing.
So do those post-fight comments, looking back, like, did that give you extra motivation?
Of course. I actually kind of feel like we're in a better position than when we weren't before we got the Contender call, because now I actually performed in front of them, and they know who I am. They like me, man. They like my attitude. They like my fight style. I mean, who doesn't like a fight style that just goes into the fight? You know what I mean? They don't, And I was happy. Like I said, I'm not happy that we didn't come off with the win, but overall the experience, the opportunity that was given to me, I can't be happy enough. And
Is it
grateful.
also a positive sign that it's LFA right now? I mean, there was CES, and then we couldn't find you a fight. They couldn't do it, so you were here at the Jackson Wing Fight Night. Not a bad place to be, but it wasn't where you were. Then you get the Contender Series, and at least now you're still Access TV.
Yeah, no, man, that's great. I'm happy. I'm good. I've actually been wanting to fight for LFA for a while now, and finally we get an opportunity where we can fight for them. So thanks, shout out to them, and thank you for bringing me on board. Like I said, man, I'm not a disrespectful dude. You know what I mean? I respect all my opponents, people who I fight, people who I don't fight. I mean, for me, like I've told you before, I don't care if you're 0-1,000. If you step in that cage, you get my respect. You know what I mean? And even though my opponent now kind of was playing games at the beginning, I still respect the guy. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those type people. It's just that when the doors close, it's a different story. That's all. And then after the fight is over, hey, shake hands. If you want to go get something to eat or whatever, then we do that. But in the meantime, it's game time.
Now that it's game time, what do we see out of the improvements? What do we see in the cage come Friday night?
Friday night, you're gonna see a very, very, very composed, what you call it? How can I say this? And relaxed. Not that you haven't even seen that, but it's more cautious in picking my shots and what we're gonna do and implement my game plan, which we got a crazy, tremendous game plan thanks to my coaches. Wayne Carey, Super Dave, and Joe. I got my teammate Pavon. They all come through and helping me out in ways that I can only be so grateful for. So, it's gonna be a good show, man. Tune in, man.
Is there an extra emphasis on this fight, needing a positive outcome?
Of course, man. I mean, we gotta win, man. Like I said, I just came off the Contender. You know what I mean? I want to get back in that win column, and I've sacrificed a lot to get to this point. Just to lose it away, it ain't just to lose it away like that. It ain't gonna happen, man. I put too much into this, and I'm gonna go balls to the wall, man. I'm gonna go hard, man.